Okay, this should be live now, I think. We can see if that's actually working or not. Yes, it is. There are some people. Hello. Hello, how are you guys doing? Yeah, we're gonna I just thought I'd stream. I started working on this and I was like, you know, I could just stream this. I bet, because some people asked about how I make these and wanted to see it, so I'm like, I could just stream it. I'm not doing anything else. I haven't done a stream in a long time, so tell me if the audio's weird. If something's too loud or too quiet, I'll adjust it. But I think it's okay. Oh my gosh, so many comments. Hang on. Hello, hello. Hi, guys. How you doing? All right. Well, how do I set up these comments so I can see them while I make this? Because I only have one monitor. Let me see. Pop out chat. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hang on, I'm messing with the chat box to try to put it in a place. I'll read what you guys are saying in a second. I gotta put this in somewhere where I can see it. Alright, let's see. Keep. Alright. If I can't figure this out, I'll just get started, because I don't want to just not be doing anything. Alright. Okay, let's read. You know, a lot of people will comment saying, "Oh, you should work for Mob Entertainment." No, the heck I should not. I'm nowhere near being able to actually work with a company like that. Right? I've always worked solo. I don't know how to join a team like that, and the way I do things is very messy. So there's no way. There's no way. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like my voice. That's nice. I know I obviously sound different to you than I do to myself, which is always a little awkward, but... What's the plan for the menu? Okay, so the menu is going to look like this. This is just where Is my cursor displaying? I think so. This is just where I made the thumbnail for the stream, but this... Okay, this is the menu layout. And let me turn it back on. Okay. This is a placeholder. I might not go with the name. I'm definitely changing the description. But this is just to help me get the layout right. So it's going to be looking out of this window here. I got to keep swapping back and forth between the Blender program and the chat box because, again, I've got only one monitor and I didn't plan this out. I think that menu isn't animated, but it is. I've already animated some of it. I'm going to animate more of it. It'll shine. Well, this is the material that came from the game. This is how it is in the game. So, that is the look Mob has for it. So I might just leave it that way. Oh, empty-handed. Do I have my own monster I made myself? No, the only thing I've made is that prototype model. That's the only thing I have made, model-wise. Also, if you start getting sick of the background music, tell me, I'll change it to another OST. It's fine. Can I import? Yeah, people ask me if I can port my model, my prototype model, to, like, if I can, like, release it on Sketchfab or something. And it's like, I get a lot of people want to use it, but it is messy. Okay, I know almost nothing about rigging and anything, and I just barely made it work. The rig is a mess. The model would hardly render on my computer. And it's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to optimize this and get it to work. It's a whole mess, and honestly, I don't want to deal with it. And like, plus, I kind of like having something that's just my thing. I hope that's not like selfish or something, but I like having it just be like my kind of thing on my channel, if you know what I mean, because I don't really have much of that. But the fact that I've got this, you know, it feels kind of cool. I don't know, maybe that's... I just don't feel like I should right now, is all. But I think about Chapter 4, everyone's complaining about Chapter 4, but I gotta start doing something here. But I actually loved it. I was surprised so many people didn't. I thought it was better. I thought it was the best one so far. I loved it a lot. But that's just because I like games with story more than gameplay. That's like my preference. So because the chapter decided to focus more on story than gameplay, I enjoyed it more. I do think the boss fights, like the doctor boss, was not good for the kind of character he was built up to be. And I feel like... And the Doughy fight felt like a Resident Evil boss, which was interesting. It wasn't... It was fine. I'll just say it was fine. I'm missing so many... I know I'm supposed to be working on this, but when there's so many people sending messages, I keep just reading these and talking to you. Oh my gosh. How do you go about working on others, staying motivated? Any tips for getting started on Blender things? I already do Blender, but I'm trying to get more into videos. Okay. Motivation stuff is unique to each individual. I kind of started to lose any motivation once I was nearing the end of the last video I was making. So I had to take a break for a few days, and work on something simpler like this menu. Because I have no advice for that because it's unique to you. You've got to figure your own thing out. But in terms of getting started in Blender, if you want to make like poppy Playtime stuff, I don't know if that's what you're talking about specifically, but there are so many people who have made like this here, this Huggy that I have, this rig. Somebody made this rig for the model and released it for free. Like, you can just find that stuff and get tons of good assets to animate in. And like I have the map here for the map and all that, and those are harder to get. It took me a while to figure it out. You have to port them yourself. But if you want to use assets from like the older chapters, people have uploaded those assets on like Sketchfab and stuff. So you can like scene build your own thing if you want and make it. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna actually start working on this a little bit. So what I currently have is we have this guy. It's gonna start with him back here. And he's just gonna kind of be idling back there for a minute. And then the lights are gonna flicker. It's laggy because I've got the render open, but you can understand. So it's gonna, lights are flickering, lights will go out. And he's gonna walk up in the dark to the window, and then he's going to do this. He's gonna like, this is where I'm up to right now. So he's gonna like appear in the window. Let me go like frame by frame so you can like see it. So yeah, I've got this. This is where I'm up to right now. So he shows up. It's like a smile thing. So he's gonna sit here for a little bit. And then Let's see. And then about here-ish, the lights are going to come back on. He's going to turn around, see something, and walk off. And the prototype is going to be back here. Is going to be where he is right here. Like, the prototype's going to show up there. And then the prototype's going to show up, walk up to the window as well. And that would, and the idea would be it would just loop that. Like in the menu, it would loop that. Because I feel like the menus, like for the last menu of Chapter 5, needs to have a little more animation to it. I feel like that'd be creepier. But again, this is literally just a concept, so... Whoa, Peach, what in the world? Yeah. Okay, if the music's annoying, I'm sorry, but, like, yeah, don't spam stuff, please. Let's see here. It's fine, just, yeah, we want to try to avoid, like, spamming and all that. Do I like the model I made? I like it more than my old one. I'll say that. I like it more than my old one. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. Yeah, because my old one, compared to the one I have now, was really bad. Like, the legs were just, like, looked like needles, and... Yeah, okay. And, all I had on, like, the inside of his ribcage was just wires everywhere. There was no organs, there was no, like, machinery. It was literally just, I copied and pasted wires everywhere to fill in the gaps. And so it was... I really do like the one I have now versus the one I had before. The Final Reckoning. That feels too long for some reason. I know, like, we have the Fly in the Web chapter, which is a long title, but then we got, like, Deep Sleep and Safe Haven. They seem to be making the titles short, like 2 words or something like that. So it beats weird. Well, I had to simulate it, right? I've used Blender to simulate the heartbeat. So I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be perfect like real life or anything, but yeah, I thought it was good enough. People seem to think it was good enough. Plus, you could just view it as like he's a messed up machine, so of course his heart's gonna beat wrong. You know, it's not gonna be like it because it's unnatural. Yeah, okay. I've been playing this one for a while. I'll play another one. Let's see. I don't have all the OST downloaded. This one. No, that's not good. What about this one? No. That's loud. Okay, I'll just loop that one for a little bit. Because I don't want to play an OST that's like really loud, because I'm trying to talk and work. So... Let me see here. Yes, Thunder, I see your thing. Hang on. Good grief. Restoring height. Probably not, because to animate those threads and things, like him being sewn up, is not something I'm able to do right now. It's outside of my skills to simulate that stuff. So, yeah, I probably won't do that. I've messed around in Unreal Engine, but because I was already trying to learn Blender, I never got too far with it. Okay, okay, I'm gonna do something now. So he's gonna show up in a window. I'm not reading comments at the moment because I'm gonna work on this for a second, so... Let's see. So we're just making him idle right now. So just random movements. Also, if anyone watching this is good with Blender, please do not judge too harshly. I don't know everything. Okay. Maybe a little too much movement right here. We'll animate his eyes later. And this is supposed to be a menu, so it's not gonna be constant movements. So there's gonna be long periods of just idle. Which is normal. Maybe I could have him turn his head and look around the room. So like, here I'll like turn a little bit because he's looking around. Like that. And then right about here is when the lights are going to come back on. He's going to hear it. He's going to be like, what? About right here, probably. Wait a minute. Maybe here. Yeah, like he's looking up because he hears the noise. Oh, that's not a good. Okay. Alright, let's see. Looks like he has eyelashes. Yeah, that's the fur. The way they put the fur around his eyes does kind of look like that. Do I have All Skin and Bones New Down? I might have that in a folder somewhere. Also, oh my gosh, wait, yeah, Peach, good grief. Just, Peach, it's fine to comment, just, like, slow down a little bit. Because if you don't, I might have to mute you. But, like, yeah, just slow down a little bit. The music doesn't seem to be bothering anybody else, so I think it's okay. Did my old prototype model have legs? Yes, but they were, like, really weird needly ones. And they looked really bad now. Now that we have, like, the shadow to compare to, it's, like, really bad. But at the time, we didn't know, so it was just a guess. What's my favorite thing about animating? The final result. Seeing it finished and what it looks like at the end and all coming together into something really interesting. Nightmare Critters VHS or anything that... I don't know, because there's... I mean, yeah, we have the song of them, but... That would be 2D. Like the original Smiling Critters. I don't know about anything I can really do with the Nightmare Critters that I'm interested in doing right now. I don't know about that. What is this now? Okay, nope. Gonna do this. Gonna do that. Make that stop. These are my... Thank you. I'm legitimately glad you like them. Like I don't know what it looks like to you guys what I make, but to me, sometimes I'll make something I'll be like, oh yeah, that looks awesome. But then sometimes I'll make something I'm like, I have no idea how that's gonna work. So the fact that you do like them is good. I'm glad about that. Oh, why are there so many spamming people? You only have to wave once. Alright, I'm gonna say this now. If you spam, you're gonna be put in a timeout. Literally. YouTube has a timeout option. I'm going to time you out. So I'm just gonna do that, yeah. I'm not being mean, it's just we don't want you to spam stuff. It makes it harder to read, and it gets annoying for the people who are here. Chapter 5 is final. I think Chapter 5 will be the last one. I know that the actual devs talked about a possible Chapter 6, but the way the story's going, it would feel wrong if it didn't end at number 5. It'd feel like they were stretching it, maybe, too far. I don't want it to end, but I don't want it to go too long and then become bad, you know? I want it to end when it needs to. How can you replicate this fur? How can I make it game accurate? Are you trying to make fur for a Huggy model you have? Because the fur I have here is from the game itself. This is the fur that Mob Entertainment made. That's what this is. This is the actual, like, fur model from the game that's on here. So, I didn't make the fur. This fur is the fur from the actual game. So I don't know how to replicate it because I've never had to. If I were to rank the chapters, how would I rank them? The Last Reckoning for the chapter name. Oh my gosh, there's so many. It's hard to balance between reading and working, but it's fine. How would I rank them? Maybe it's recency bias, but I think Chapter 4 currently is number 1? No. Number 2. And just because one of these chapters is going to be in the ranked lowest doesn't mean I don't like it. I like them all. But if I had to put them in an order, I'd probably put Chapter 2 as number 1, and I'll explain why. Chapter 2 is number 1. Chapter 4 is number 2. Chapter 3 is number 4, and Chapter 1 is number 3. Yeah, so I had to go 2, 4, 1, and 3. Yeah, that order. And the reason Chapter 2 is number 1 is because that's the chapter that got me into this whole thing. Like, I knew it existed beforehand, but basically Mommy Longlegs' death is what got me into this entire franchise. Or, yeah, this IP. That's what got me into this. So I think that because of that, it earns its number 1 spot. What else we got? Recent VHS tapes are cool. Thank you, I'm glad I think they're cool, because I was worried that maybe the VHS tape I animated was too red, like it had too much red lighting, but that's the look I wanted, so I just stuck with it, but I'm glad it turned out well. What else we got? Trying to keep quiet, but don't say it's gold, you're gonna bring in some law enforcement with these spammers. No, we'll just put them in the timeout corner, it's fine. The shame of being put in the timeout corner will be enough. Showed a keyframe track. Keyframe track? Please do understand, I am self-taught on all this stuff, so I might not understand the terminology of some things. What is a keyframe track? Is it this? Because that's what I'm on. Or am I misunderstanding you? Like, this is the keyframes? Or are you talking about something else? Because, like, I probably know what it is, I just don't know what it's called, so I don't know what you're talking about. Also, I'm way behind on the messages. Good grief. Playtime, did Mob Entertainment contact you about it? No, they did not. No, they have not. They have not contacted me in any way, shape, or form. I don't like to think that, oh, mine was so good that they took inspiration from it, and they probably did not. I'll be honest, they probably didn't. Because I'm pretty sure they've had this model, or what he looks like, planned from way early on. But the fact that I did get the legs guessed close to right, and the fact that I made a video where he was in a hallway and then they revealed his shadow in a hallway is pretty is cool. I don't think they saw it and were like, oh, we're gonna do that, but I think it's just a good coincidence. A really cool one, honestly. I'm just happy that I got kind of close with my guess. You please show us the prototype. Actually, I might, if I get far enough in the animation here, because he's going to show up in this, so I have his model imported right now. Actually, yeah, I'll show you guys the prototype model in a minute, if you want to see it. Because it's imported here right now, it's just hidden. I'm just trying to answer some questions right now. Oh my gosh. So there's so many. Favorite character design in terms of creepiness. I'm sorry, I'm going to be taking a pause on the work here to read all these because I don't want to leave you guys out. Favorite character design in terms of creepiness. In terms of creepiness, I think... This is just for the ones we've seen, because I have no doubt that the prototype is going to outclass all of them when he's shown. But for the ones that we actually have, you're probably right. Probably Catnap is the creepiest one. Alright, spider legs, like your original model. Okay, I did answer that already. We failed. 4, chapter 5, will you be just getting back up or getting fast? I don't think we fell as far as they made it look, but yeah, we're definitely at the bottom of everything. There's no more down to go. We're at the bottom. Doughy attacking his... No, probably not, because Doughy's hard to animate. Like, really hard, and I'm not skilled enough to do that. Nor do I really want to make something like that. I tend to just work on things that I want to work on, because if I didn't, I'd get burned out way too fast. Need frame track. Yeah, I can show the prototype model. Yeah, I can do that in a minute. Older monster cameos in Chapter 5 besides Huggy. I'm hoping for Boxy Boo to show up. I feel like he should show up, because he's only shown up in the main game as an image in the VHS. I want him to actually be there. I think that would be cool. Why can't I name the chapter Playtime's Over? I mean, technically I could, I just don't want to name it that. I want to name it something that I like, that sounds cooler, you know? And for my idea of what the lore might be, what the story might end up being, Empty Secret fits for me. I might change it, but we'll see. What else we got? What else we got? Okay, okay, Mercury. That's not a bad description. It might be slightly too long, because I've noticed that they've been making the descriptions really short. But it's pretty good. Again, yes, this is a placeholder description. I'm not going with what you actually see. If you can even read that, I don't know. A comparison between your old and current. I am. I'm no promises, but I did have an idea to make a video showing them side by side and being like, here's what's changed, here's what I upgraded, and all that stuff. Because if you actually could see the old model in, like, all its glory, it would... it looks like garbage. Not completely, but a lot of it does. The only reason I made it look so good was because I kept it in shadows. Can't see any further chapters after 5 because we've been traveling even further. What's supposed to come after labs? There can't be anything more. Exactly. The labs is the end of the line. It's the final... it's the final place. They literally say it in the VHS tape. It's the most secret place. It's at the deepest level with the most security. This is the end. The labs is the end. This is where the prototype is. This is where all the orphans are. This is where the last secrets are held. This is where everything that we've been wanting to know is. There isn't anything after this. At least there shouldn't be. I don't feel like there should be. I feel like the lab should be the end, and that would be a satisfying ending. However, I don't expect it to come out until, like, late next year. I hope they take their time with this one. Oh my gosh, it skipped everything. Another day, another opportunity to achieve your ambition by doing the very thing you love. Keep on doing the best. Have a nice day. Thank you, Black Prism. Thank you very much. I love kind words like that. It helps. Thank you. The frames, put in traction. Oh, okay, you want to see the actual, like, keyframes. Okay. So yeah, this is what I have for him. I know you sent that a while ago, but yeah, here you go. So here's where he's like looking up in the window, and then these are just idle frames. Then this is where he's gonna turn, and then over here I'm gonna have him like leaving the window in a minute. And then this guy back here, hang on a second. This guy back here is not much because he's literally just idling. You can see him moving here now, actually. So yeah, he's just gonna idle. He's going a little fast. Yeah, he's just gonna idle in the background there. Then the lights are gonna flicker out, and then he's gonna show up in the window. Alright. What else we got? How do I rig my characters? I don't. I'm very bad at rigging. The only thing I've rigged is the prototype model that I made. All these other rigs, like this one I'm using here on Huggy, is made by somebody else. Then they made it and released it for free for everybody to use, which I greatly appreciate, by the way. A lot of these videos wouldn't have been made if other people didn't put in work to release like these rigs for free. Like, it is greatly appreciated. It lets us make a lot of cool stuff. Alright, going down. Oh, I'm getting so behind. There's so many messages. Good grief. If I miss your message, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. What does a prototype do to the corpses of dead toys? On my old model, I just kind of slapped the corpses onto him, but I don't think that's what he's gonna do. I think he's taking parts from their corpses, like, and using them. Like, here's what my guess, right? You know how Kissy's all burnt? I think what he did was he took whatever was inside of Catnap that let him emit the gas and put that onto himself. So now he can emit the poppy gas. And what he did was because I think the prototype is the one that attacked Kissy. So I think what he did was he sprayed her in the gas, lit it on fire, and that's how she got burned. I think he's not just taking the whole body, I think he's taking the parts from the bigger bodies and using them to make himself stronger. I think that's what he's doing. So I don't think when we see him he's just going to have all their corpses just slapped onto him. I think he's going to have bits and pieces that he found the most useful. Alright, I'm gonna have to skip some and catch up to where everybody is here. Face would look like. I think the prototype is a human corpse attached to a massive machine, like to keep him alive. Because it's called a prototype. It was their first try. So I don't think he's supposed to look like a toy. He's just a machine that they tried to bring to life. Creation but cooler. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? You're kind of right on that. Why did you make the prototype in the time VHS look like it's lacking toys? Because I didn't really know how to incorporate them onto him. Like, again, I don't think that the bodies are just slapped onto him. So I feel like he takes pieces, and I didn't really know how to put those pieces on him. You know, my skill currently has a limit. I'm not the best. There's some things I just can't do right now, and that's one of them. They make the doctor screen change PNGs and stuff. A new animator want to make stuff like it. You love your stuff. Okay, so if you want to know how I did the doctor's, like his eyeballs constantly changing, I didn't switch out images. in Blender, you can actually take a video and use it as a texture. So what I did was I had a video of his eyeball changing like that, and then I just put that video onto the TV screen in Blender, and it just played. So you don't have to texture it over and over. You can just put a video, and the video will play as you make your animation. You make a prototype reveal as a chapter 5 concept. I mean, I already revealed him. Did I not reveal him enough? I thought I showed enough of him in the video for people to understand what he looked like. Unfortunately, with the way I've made the model, if I shine him in just bright lights, he looks horrid. So I have to keep him in shadow a little bit to make him actually look good. Okay, I've been just reading stuff, so I'm gonna do something interesting here. Alright, you guys want to see the prototype model? Like, without all the shadows. Alright, let me pull him out. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this, bring him upstairs, and here he is. Relationship lines. Can I get rid of these? What are these? There. Alright, here he is. So it's broken like this because I have subdivisions down. So it looks better in the render. Anyways, so here's his arm. This part, I hope my cursor is visible, or this is going to be weird. But this part of the arm is from Chapter 2. This is the actual one made by Mob Entertainment. This I made, and all this I made. So the idea is that it's a human corpse, as you can see right here, that is attached to this massive machine. This thing is not supposed to be a neck. A lot of people were like, oh, it's a neck. No, it's not a neck. It's just a long metallic tube with blood vessels and tubes going all through it. Because remember, this is supposed to be a prototype. And as we all know, when new technology comes out, it's always massive, right? You look at old computers, they're huge. They're like, take up an entire room. That's what this was. They didn't know what they were doing yet. They were just trying to get something to work. And so that's how you get this big, giant, slapped-together monstrosity. Because they weren't trying to make it look good. They just wanted it to work. So this is his rib cage. And on the inside here, if I can make it visible, I don't know. Here, if you can see it, this is like a vat, like a cylinder cage, right? And on the inside, you can't see it because I don't have materials on, but inside this cage, yeah, inside this cage right here that I've highlighted, is his heart. His heart actually isn't out in the open, it's inside of a case, and you can just see through the glass, but it's not exposed. And over here, on this case, if you remember, they said that the prototype had his digestive system intact, even though he didn't need it. So I put his digestive system in here. He's not using it, but it's in there. And you've got these massive tubes coming out of it, going into his core, and the heart pumps all the blood. So all of these tubes are for blood. Because remember, apparently in a description, he bleeds out a lot, so he needs a lot of blood. So we've got all these wires going in, supplying the main brain. And he's got the robotic eye and all that. And he talks out of like a speaker, so he doesn't move his mouth. And that's why the eye like will flash as he talks, because he's talking like through the robotic part of himself. Even though his brain is in here and working, it's connected via these wires. He doesn't really use his body anymore. It's just kind of like this brain pilots this giant machine, which is why his arms kind of just flop here slack, and why he barely moves his torso at all and only kind of moves his head around to look. And now here's where I took inspiration. I'm going to take this out. This is where I took inspiration from the shadow in Chapter 4. So it's not perfectly one-to-one, but I got I got kind of close, I think. So, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Just the wires going down, connecting the flesh, providing blood. And these electrical wires, of course, to power, like, the machinery. And just the really sharp, pointy edges. And it's got... And from what we could tell from the shadow, he has 6 legs total, which go up here to this core spine, which is where the blood flows down to the legs from this core up into the main core of the body. So that's basically the idea here. And he doesn't have an arm because I couldn't tell what that should have been, because I only have like the statue as a reference. So this is just what I went with. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna read some stuff. You love how this model looks? Thank you. You're goated, man. Please don't die. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much. I'm glad you don't want me to die. Do I plan on releasing the model? Not at the moment. I don't have plans to. So isn't this what we need now? Oh, that's just... Okay, that's nonsense. Never mind. It's the model. It's the only good mod. I'm sorry. It's not... I can't release it because it's too much of a mess. The rig is a mess, and I don't want to mess with it right now. Yeah, it's the fan-made prototype model that I made. Simmons. Old prototype model, yeah, we throw that one in the dumpster and pretend it doesn't exist. Prototype acquired the green hand, which stuck to catnap. I think the green hand, once it was shot on catnap, is broken now, so I don't think it has any use. Plus, I don't think the prototype uses the hands. I think he's got his own thing. Gunnar's sword doesn't fit the prototype's... what we understand of what the prototype is. That wouldn't seem right. That would feel wrong for who he is. What else do I plan on doing with this model? Well, I'm gonna use it in this menu animation that I'm working on. And then, after that... Again, I'm not saying anything solid. I never say something is solid anymore, because I never know what might actually be made or what might not. But after this, I've been contemplating possibly working on like a boss fight for him. Maybe. No promises, but I've had an idea for it. And so maybe something like that. And if I do make like a Chapter 5 trailer concept, he'd definitely be in that. So, are I having a small head weird? I don't think so, because it's attached to an entire corpse. Why do people keep thinking it's just his head? It's a human corpse stuffed into this thing. I don't think it looks weird at all. I think it looks really cool. Because this is the design that is in the prototype statue. Like, there's a full-on human corpse there. So I think that's what it'll be. Do I think Poppy will be the main villain? No, but I think she's not going to be who we think she is. Some stuff's going to be revealed about her that's going to make us rethink some things. Is it hard to make a concept? It's actually easier because it's a concept, you don't have to worry too much about being one-to-one perfectly accurate to what the actual game will be. You just have to kind of get close. It's just for fun, right? A concept, a thing to get people thinking about what the actual thing might be. So it's not that hard to make a concept. The animating and scene building and stuff is difficult, but actually coming up with the idea isn't as hard. Because I have so much source material to work off of. What if I spoiled all of you last year by building a new prototype in your family? Look, if the real prototype looks anything like this, I'm gonna feel very, very happy. Because I'll be like, I guessed it right. Even though I don't think it's gonna be anywhere like this, but I do like the idea that it might be somewhat close. Like, that would just be cool, right? To say, hey, I guessed correctly, you know? Ask the corpse on his head thing. Why doesn't he have hands on his corpse? Because they're gone. Remember, this is a human corpse that was just shoved onto this thing, and it's kind of rotting, as you can look here. The idea is that he was like rotting away, and so he doesn't have hands anymore. He doesn't use them, so they took them off because he has this one, and he used to have one over here. So yeah, he doesn't use them. He doesn't need them. They've just were removed. They only really needed the brain, which is why the body's kind of been neglected. That's the idea, anyway. Truly an abomination. Would be interesting to have as the prototype goes bigger and stronger, but also more grotesque. I don't know if it can grow because it's a machine. Like, metal can't grow. I don't know if that would work. Won't be a villain we defeat, but when we end up giving what he wants. Even if we're in his lab, he might know. The prototype has been built up through all the chapters to be the final encounter. Whether he might be truly evil, or maybe his intentions are good, or whatever. Even though his actions aren't great, but maybe his intentions are good. But I still feel like he's going to be the final thing we confront. It would be very weird for him to be built up all this time, and then suddenly in Chapter 5 there's this new final bad guy or something. Like, no, it's going to be the prototype. I have no doubt. I think that the official prototype model will be more disturbing than what I have, definitely. Corpse still have some of his organs, like his lungs and liver. You know, I don't know if they would or not. My model doesn't, because he gets all of his blood from the big heart in his main core. So, honestly, they've probably just rotted away by now because they didn't bother to hook his body up to any of the blood supply. Just his brain. You know, that's my guess. I don't think they would have his body fully functional, you know? Grows and as in accumulating more parts. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I think that's what he's doing. Like I said, I think he's taking like the gas dispenser from Catnap and incorporating that onto himself and things like that. I think Chapter 4 is worse or better. I think it's better than Chapter 3. Poppy Playtime at its core is a story-driven game. That's what most of us are here for, is the story, right? Not the gameplay. Well, some of us are, and the gameplay's fun, don't get me wrong, but we're here ultimately for the story. And Chapter 4 decided to turn and focus more on the story, and I think that made it better than Chapter 3. Plans on releasing it, but if you do, would it be paid or free? Oh, it'd be, if I ever actually did, of course it'd be free. I'm not going to charge people for a model made about a game IP that isn't mine. That feels dumb. No, I wouldn't charge money for the model itself, I don't think. No, actually, no, I wouldn't, because... Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. That doesn't feel right to me. I sent you an email. Would you appreciate it if you could take a look when you have time? Looking forward to your response. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry I haven't replied to you, but I did see it. I've just been really sleepy these past few days, and I just haven't been able to... I haven't been able to reply to anybody, not just you, but anybody else. But, yeah, I saw your message, and I'm really glad you like the model, but I currently don't have any plans to let anyone else use it. And it's not, I'm not trying to, like, be mean or anything, it's kind of, I haven't used it enough yet for me to feel like I'm ready to let other people use it. Right? I just made it. I'm just starting to use them in some stuff. I want to keep them to myself for a little while, I think, before I would even think about letting other people use them. I know that might seem selfish, but, like, that's just what I feel like right now. I kind of want to just keep them on my channel for the time being. I have seen some of your stuff, though, and I think it's really cool. So, I do wish you the best with anything else you make going forward. I really do. I love seeing content creators, like, still going, you know, making this kind of stuff. It's really cool. I need making the left arm. I need making the left arms. Okay. I don't know what you mean. I mean, a human skeleton has a head, but I don't know why. But I would prefer that in the game. He's really fully robotic. I think the fact that there's a human corpse stuck to him makes him creepier. If he was just a full-on robot, it wouldn't be as creepy to me. I feel like. That has the other arm. Yeah, he probably does have another arm, but I just didn't know what to put there. So on my design, I left it as his arms ripped off. Do I have a Ko-Fi page? I don't. The only thing, Sam, the only thing I have enabled are, like, super chats. That's it. I don't have any, like, Patreon or Ko-Fi or anything like that, because I've never felt like I could... I never felt like I was consistent enough to deserve having something like that up. Like, sure, I could make a Patreon or something, but I don't feel like I could ever consistently keep enough content going to deserve having that, so I never bothered. Do you plan any of the Doctor turning into machine tape? Do you mean the VHS where he wakes up after being turned? I've thought about it, maybe as like something to do later on, like maybe next month or something, possibly. Right now I'm trying to do like the stuff that people really want to see, like, you know, Chapter 5 menus and trailers and stuff with this guy and all that. But then I'll like try and work on some of the other things, like the Doctor, possibly, things like that. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep this up, but I'm going to try to make stuff for as long as I'm able, basically. Diamond question, can you make a live stream of you playing Chapter 4? I've already played it, so I'd be replaying it. I don't know if you'd want to see that. Actually, no, that probably would be a good idea, because I already know everything. I'd just kind of be stumbling through it again, and it wouldn't be very fun. I don't think so. Maybe, like, in the future, once I forget about it a little bit, but probably not right now. The real villain is Leith Pierre. How is he the real villain? Like, he's shady like everyone else at the place, but how's he the real villain? You should make a 3D printed prototype. Do you know? I have done 3D printing and stuff. Do you understand how hard that would be to turn this model that I have right here into something 3D printable? Dear God in heaven, no. Oh, no, no, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way I could do that. That is so many tiny parts. Not knocking you for your suggestion. I'm just like, there's no way I could do that. Where's the heart located? The heart is located right here, inside of this selected canister. It's in his ribcage here. Actually, let me just hide bones. There we go. Yeah, it's inside this canister. So it's shielded. It's not like out in the open, but yeah. Now let's see. What else we got? Make a VHS the prototype hacking into the systems or something to start the Hour of Joy. I don't think he hacked into the systems, did he? I don't think so. I think he just, like, waited for the time when the security was at its lowest and then just was like, alright, everybody, go murder people. I may not make another hand concept. I don't have any ideas for another hand concept, so not at the moment. I had the idea for that one, like, split hand, and I haven't had any others since. Nothing that I felt could actually like work in the game. I don't want to make some absurd, crazy concept like, oh, the shovel hand for digging holes. No, that wouldn't exist in the actual game, so I wouldn't make something like that. What else we got? Why doesn't he have any... Because I didn't add those parts onto his body, Flappa. I just didn't do that for my model. Because I didn't really know how to for this one. So I just didn't. I know they're supposed to be on there, but I just didn't. Matthew, I actually think that Richie might be who we're playing as. That might be the person we're playing as. Because he's shown up in almost in every chapter, and he's been built up to be this actually, like, decent guy in this horrible place. So, like, he might be the one we're playing as. Can I show the heart in the canister? If I can get the materials to work. Let me see. Please don't crash Blender, but let me try. Okay, and it's not in there. What happened? Oh, right, I took it out because lag. Okay. Sorry. But yeah, it's supposed to be right here. I removed it right now because it was laggy, so it's not... I can't bring it in at the moment because it's in a different save file. But, yeah, it's supposed to be in there. How long did it take to make this? The model? It took me about a week to make the model. I mean, anything's possible, Kelly. Anything's possible, but the kid was just revealed in Chapter 4, so I don't feel like that would be him. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Mommy's body to attach his arm and stretch it out. That's probably how he was able to reach Cat in Chapter 3 in the vents, even though he's huge. Well, how is he able to control a dead corpse like it's his own muscles? That doesn't make sense. Like, all this is already a part of him, but, like, you can't take an arm from, like, an animal and attach it to yourself and make it work. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe in this universe they have a way to make it make sense, but I don't currently see it. How do you think we'll kill the prototype? No idea. Absolutely no idea. So it'd take 5 months. No, it wouldn't take 5 months. No way. You could do this. It looks complicated, but really it's a lot of wires. Like this spine thing is just the same piece, but duplicated over and over. I didn't have to model each one individually, I just made one and then moved it all. The rib cage I actually got from a corpse and just edited. So that's fine. And then I just sculpted these real quick. And these like metal bits didn't take very long. It looks complex, but a lot of it's like I made one leg, and then I just copy pasted the leg 6 times. I didn't have to individually model each leg. I just had to do it once. So it's not as complex as it looks. It genuinely isn't. There's some long ones. How'd I get the idea for the crab legs? Because those were in Chapter 4. What you see right now I made based off the shadow in Chapter 4. Did it cost money to make this? No, I made it myself. It didn't cost me any money. There are some parts of it that I didn't make, like assets on a store for Blender assets and things, but they were free and I didn't have to pay for them. Like this corpse, I didn't make the corpse, someone else did. But they released it for free, so I was able to use it on this model. The eyeball is also something else that I didn't make, someone else made it. But again, it was a free asset that I was allowed to use, so I just combined them. And things like that. So, and, well, obviously the hand was made by Mob Entertainment, but, like, I made this arm, I made the whole neck thing. I made the wires, made the legs, all of the legs. Just these, like, joint things, this circle bit was an asset, but... I made the majority of the model, but there are, like, assets added onto it to help make it. The prototype jump scare will be like, I don't know if he'll have a jump scare. I honestly don't think he will. He's more of a... He doesn't feel like the kind that would actually jump scare you. Does the corpse have legs? In my version, no. He's just a torso that's stuck onto this. I need to actually get back to work on this. I've been talking for a long time. Okay. Back to the actual video. Bones. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, he comes up, idles there for a while, looks around. That's a little too slow, I think, so we're gonna... grab these bones right here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, they're inverted. Darn, that's bad. Okay, those aren't though. Let's see, can I just do like this? A little too slow, but maybe speed it up a little here. Yeah, okay, that might work. And it can turn away. Let's see. Oh, I have no doubt, Reaper, that the official model will look so much better. Do I know a lot of people have been trying to create this design in Roblox? I have no doubt. Like, ever since I made that first model back in last year, people have been trying to, like, copy it or mimic it. Somebody animated a boss fight with the prototype that used a version that was very blatantly a mimic of mine. Which is fine, because my design is just based off of the statue that they gave, so it's not like I own the design 100% or anything. But it's just obvious that they did see mine and were like, I'm gonna make that. See, I have no doubt. Deepest depths are 1006. I didn't want to name it 10006 again, because I already made a concept menu that had that name. I wanted to go for something different with this one. Okay, and then we're gonna have this happen, and then he's gonna, like, go off screen. Like he's leaving. That's bad. Hang on. Okay, and then we'll have his head, like... I might change this later. We'll see. I want him to, like, go up. Standing up to leave. Yeah, I might change that. That looks a little stupid. Okay. That's fine, but like the turning around thing looks dumb. Alright, I'll figure out what to do there later. Wonder how flexible he is. I feel like he's able to contort himself a little bit. So discombobulate. Well, this is the thing about animation. You only have to care about what you can see. And this is what people are going to see. So it doesn't matter what's going on over here, because no one sees it. I can break his spine and turn it 180 degrees if I want to, as long as no one sees it. Because there is absolutely no point in animating something that nobody sees. It's just a waste of time. Did I hear the new Doctor song? I have not. I did not hear that. I didn't know that it was even a thing. Name the chapter Playtime's over? That seems a little too... That doesn't feel like something that they would actually name the actual chapter 5. I'm trying to name it something that I think that Mob would actually name it. Possibly, right? Because I've noticed they have, like, a bit of a rule with how they name things. They don't put the... or as, or anything like that. Like, they just put, like, a statement, like, oh, what was the one? A tight squeeze, a fly away. Like, they'll use a, but, like, a, but not as, or something. Or not the word the, or anything like that. So, like, a fly away, and then they turn to just deep sleep, and then safe haven. Like, they got really simple with their names. The deepest secrets. Yeah, it's like I just said, they don't use the. Like, maybe you can name it deepest secrets, but that sounds a little... I'm talking like, if Mob were to name it something, what would they name it, right? And some of those don't sound like what Mob would do. No worries, Soldier, you don't have to link it. It's fine. I'm not going to listen to it on stream anyways, so... Well, the thing is, though, is that they intended to use that animation. They just scrapped it. I'm talking about when you make an animation, you don't animate the parts that are not going to be seen by the player. That's what it means. It's like those animations, the animations themselves were taken out of the game, but they were supposed to be in it. They were planned to be, which is why they were still there. They didn't animate her doing that, like, oh, we're never going to put this in the game, but we'll animate it anyway, just for funsies. No, they intended to put it in the game. But they just never did. Let's see here. So, he's not going to turn around like that, so, yeah, I'll just have him, like... Like, just keep turning to leave or something. I'll add some sound effects later. That seems too like, oh, straight line movement. A little too fast. Like, if I just look at this, right? Okay, that's not too bad. I still need to animate his mouth moving. Like, I've got it here. But, like, I need to add more. We gotta animate his eyes moving too. That part of the ending map. Yes, Ben. It's the entire ending map, like the labs portion. With the cave system and everything. Here, look, I'll show you. this is the whole map chunk in the actual game engine. So this is where we watch the tape from Dowie, and then we slide down this into the vents where we hear the prototype talking, and then this is where we fall down, and then all this is where we walk into the labs. This is the door, this is the labs with the flowers, and then this is the tiny room at the end where we see Huggy and all that. So yeah, it's like the whole map in one chunk. Add a beacon hand. I can switch to hand mode and flash stun mode. The thumb's a flashlight. We already have a flashlight though. I don't think we'll have like a beacon hand. In the lab's entrance to where Poppy betrays us. How did you get your map, Ben? Did you like rip it from the files, or did you download it from somewhere? How did I extract the map? What was the tool I used? It was called Universal UMap. It's the program that someone's offered on Patreon. If you pay like $10, you can get the software, and it works on pretty much any Unreal game. It'll let you just extract the map, and then it'll put it straight into Blender for you. You just have to like texture it yourself. It's real easy. And I'm really glad I found it, because I wouldn't have been able to do this without it. What else do we got? Can't really pour. I see. Yeah, it was a complicated process when I had to figure out how to do it. Like, it took me like a week when I trying to learn it, but yeah, I got it well enough now that I can do this stuff. But I get that not everybody can figure this out. I'm lucky I figured it out. How do you make it look so good? Make what look so good? You have to be more specific. Like, what do you mean? What am I able to make look good? What are you asking specifically? How would the dual hand even work? I don't know. I didn't think that far because I was just making a concept video. I didn't think about how I'd actually use it. Like, button-wise. You know. But I'm sure there'd be like an option like switch to the do hand. And then you left and right mouse buttons would use it, and then you could switch back to using the left hand or something, but yeah. Build your prototype out of Lego. Of course. If you want to do that, go ahead. There's no reason you can't. Don't you have to texture every single mesh? Yes, but some textures are shared, so if you texture one mesh, all the other meshes that use that texture will also get textured. And all the textures are in a folder if you put them all in one folder, so you can just like click on a mesh, go to the shading, add the textures, go to that folder, find it. It sounds like a long process, but I textured the whole thing in like one evening. It does take some time, a couple hours probably, but if you just consistently texture one right after the other, with maybe just put some music on in the background or something, like it'll be done pretty quick. Because you don't have to make any of the textures, you just have to tell them that it goes to which item. And when you import it with the software I did, it actually tells you what textures go where. Usually. Some of them are messy, but it does usually tell you. Hey, key, awesome. Yeah, a lot of people are starting to move to Blender now to animate stuff like this. It's like the ideal software at this point to use. What did you use to... I used F-Model to get assets, and then I used another software to get the maps. I think we might have the failed experiments in the labs. We got Ryland Chapter 4. So yeah, oh, there's definitely going to be, like, tons of experiments in the labs that we've never seen before. Or the ones that just didn't work. Because the prison was used to hold the ones that were, you know, good enough. Or that were, like, conscious enough or anything like that. But this is going to be the ones where, like Bobby Bear Hug, the one that couldn't even move. Stuff like that'll be here, right? Like the ones that were just really messed up. I dare you to go to viewport shading. Alright. There you go. Boom. And this is in cycles, by the way. Actually surprised I managed to get it to look like that. Can you upload this map chunk to Sketchfab? No, I don't really mess with stuff like that. Like uploading it and all that. I just kind of get what I need for what I'm working on and then use that. Like I'm not good enough to be able to go through the whole map, texture it correctly, perfectly, and then be able to upload that. Like some of the textures didn't port right, and so they don't work. So I just have to like turn the roughness of his eyes down. People keep complaining about that. Is that really that bad? Because this is just the raw model from chapter 4, so this is like what it is in that chapter. Like I can, let me see. It's a huggy eye. Turn the roughness down a bit. Okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about, I guess, but then you get like real reflective craziness. Like those squares. What is that? What is that square? Whoa, no, that's not what I wanted. Oh, it's this. Where is it? It's this light. For some reason, I can't figure it out. Blender and lights with reflections will like reflect the shape of the light, and I can't figure out how to fix it. Yeah, I can make it round, but then it would shine back onto the door, and I only want that light to shine on his face. So it's supposed to be an area. I'm just talking about, like, in the reflections. Like, you got this square thing. I don't know why. I don't know what that is or how to fix it. At least not in cycles. I could fix it in Eevee, but not in cycles. Yes, Cryptic, I do think we will... at least I'm hoping that we'll see Boxy in Chapter 5. I really do. I should make a Discord server. You know what? I tried once upon a time to do that, but it became a mess. No one really used it. And honestly, I just didn't care to manage it, so... yeah, I don't think I'll ever do something like that. I don't mean turn it into a point light. You can have 5R. I don't know what you mean. You can have the light work the same way and make a circle. Yeah, I think I know what you mean, but it's still like... I think it does. Like if let's make it... Yeah, the problem's still there. Right? See, in his eyes, it's still got that circle. It's like whatever shape the light is, that shape shows up in the actual reflection. Like if I turn it into a point light, it turns into the two circles. It's like the light is solid somehow and it's reflecting onto it. Like, see, now that one's square. It's weird. I don't know how to get rid of it. Because I remember I got rid of it in Eevee, so it's doable. I just can't figure it out. What else we got? Why the prototype was created in the first place? Because they were trying to replicate Poppy. The prototype was one of the earliest experiments that was successful. So they were just trying to... They didn't care what he looked like. They just wanted him to work. So they just slapped everything together to try to get something to work. They didn't care about making it look like a toy or something. And so that's why. You can use a spotlight and try to optimize it. Does it matter if it's a spotlight or an area light? Like, the effect doesn't seem that much different. Like, this is just supposed to be a light for when he's up in the window. I'm genuinely asking, like, if you've got something I don't know, I want to learn it, but I don't really see how that's different, what the difference is. Alright, so let's see. Still looks good. I like turn away and leave, and then he'll be there. Okay. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, yeah, Ben. I do know that the problem is linked to radius. I do know that. It's just, even if I make the radius really tiny, there's still that little dot, and it gets on my nerves. But, yeah, let me see here. I'll try it. Maybe it looks good in this specific circumstance, but... let me try. Spotlight, radius, tiny... Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's still got those two dots on it. Turn that down a bit. Actually, that looks pretty interesting. With the radius thing. Maybe. The real owner? Is this the real owner? Are you the real owner? Owner of what? What are you talking about? Am I the real owner? What do you mean? Okay, I might go with something like this if I can get it to look a little better. The shadows on the fur aren't as good, but we'll see. Maybe I can pull the light back. Okay, yeah, I'll mess around with the light later and see if I can get something to work. That might work with the spotlight. Is that what I had before? Okay, I just want to make sure I don't lose the settings. Oh, what is all this? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, what? I don't know what you were asking in the first place. Like, what do you mean by real owner? Good eye reflection or good for hard to see? Yep. That's what happens sometimes. One thing looks nice, but then something else looks like crap. So then you gotta pick. Oh, well, I'll figure it out. It's fine. Thanks for the suggestion, though. Turn off the influence for the specular. I don't think you can... You could do that in Eevee, but I don't think you can do that in Cycles, right? Like, I don't think that's an option. Like, there's nothing here, but then if I go to Eevee... In a second, once it fixes itself. Yeah, in Eevee, there's the option to, like... Which one is it? Yeah, if I turn the glossy off, this reflection goes away. But I can't turn that off in Cycles. In cycles, it just is. See, there's no options. All right, let's see. What happened if there was something bigger than the prototype? Well, I don't think there is. So I have no idea what would happen. Like, it looks so deranged. They definitely went with that. You can do that too, but you have to look it up. Okay, maybe I'll look it up afterwards. Looks so they changed like how his teeth are laid out and like how his smile is on this new model. So he definitely looks more psychotic. Definitely. Mom was spying on us, taking notes about this. Hey, you never know. I mean, there's no way. This is not what the menu's gonna be, but it'd be fun. Misspelled Evie. Ah. What are my thoughts on Secrets of the Mimic? It looks so different from anything we've gotten before that it might be very refreshing. I think it'll be good. Five, skip the Playtime Factory. I don't think he survived either. I'm pretty sure Catnap is dead. You don't really get stabbed through the head and then get to continue to live. Lucas, I get you want me to see your message, but maybe don't repeat it so many times. Okay, I see it now. Back to no, I don't think I would do that. Excuse me. It's okay, Lucas. It's just I'm trying to keep people from like spamming stuff too much. You're fine. It's just, you know. It could be more interesting the content, the prototype, or the mimic, or at least a big. I think the more interesting one is most undoubtedly the prototype. Definitely, the prototype is more interesting. I have a feeling that when we see like Mob Entertainment's actual model of the prototype, it's going to be something very unique that we are not expecting. Because Mob Entertainment, say what you want, but they produce quality in a lot of areas, especially with their models. Oh yeah, they're most likely going to nail it. Yes, I've seen the Mimic song, and I regret every moment I spent doing so. I think the name should be... Nah, okay. You go to the orange symbol on the right that says Object, and go to Visibility. You'll find Ray Visibility, they turn off Glossy, and all other costs. Okay, so I have the light. Tuck it here. What did it say? This Object, go to Visibility, Ray Visibility. Alright, there's Ray Visibility, and then turn off Glossy. Oh my gosh. Well now. Huh. It worked. Hey, Ben, thank you. Thank you very much. That completely worked. Perfect. I swear I tried something like that before, like turning these off, and it didn't work before. But hey, I'm not complaining. Yeah, thank you for looking that up. I'm glad I could fix that. Why doesn't the prototype move his jaw? Because he's not talking through his mouth. It's just his brain that's connected to the giant mech machine behind him. He's talking through like some kind of speaker setup. So he doesn't talk through his vocal cords. He's not moving his mouth. In fact, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's so rotten that he doesn't even have vocal cords anymore. The prototype having like loads of human remains across it, likely a lot of fan interpreters. You have one corpse being the specialist, but there are way more bodies. Honestly, who knows? It could be one corpse, it could be many. I have no idea. Only Mob knows this. Okay, perfect. So this is looking very good now. Oh, right. I hid. Did I hide the plane? Yeah, I did. That's why it's there. Okay. Nice. Okay, and then we're moving around, looking around, turns around. Okay, I'll add sounds for that later, and I'll animate his mouth later, so. Right now, I think the last thing I'm gonna do on the stream is put the prototype into position. Because once Huggy leaves, the prototype shows up. Yeah, okay, let's move him down here. Alright, so there he is. But he needs to be adjusted because he's clipping into a ton of stuff. So, we'll do that. Select all the bones. Pose mode. What inspired you to make the prototype have only one eye visible? That's just what I went with. I felt it looked cool with just having one robotic eye rather than two eyes. Because again, I want the corpse, on my version, I wanted the corpse to look rotted. So having just the one eye in there. Like, the corpse is supposed to be, on mine, very mutilated and disfigured because of what it went through to be turned into the prototype. So, that's why I just went with one eye. Thoughts on the nightmare critters? Do you think we'll see more of them? I feel like they were unnecessary, if I'm being very truthful. The nightmare critters didn't feel necessary at all. I feel like we just could have had more psychotic, smiling critters. And the only reason I think that is because they felt like they were shoved in to the chapter, like they didn't feel like they had a proper place in it. Entirely. I'm not completely crapping on them because the role that they played in being the versions that like took out the smiling critters is interesting. I just feel like they didn't have a good enough role in the chapter. Prototype is huge. Yeah, he's bigger than Huggy. He's not as big as I think people think he is from my like reveal video, but he's not small. At least my version isn't. I don't know what the official one's gonna be, but... Yeah, exactly. There was nothing to indicate that he would have spider legs until now, so... He's definitely gonna look like something different. Alright, let's see here. A question about animating, because I'm going to try to animate myself. Nice. Is it easy to animate? I assume it's easy. The only hard part is animating frame by frame. Well, that's how animating works. And you don't have to go frame by frame, because, like, you can animate from, like, here to here, right? You don't have to do every single frame. You just have to do the distance that you want him to move. So, like, if I want his leg to be here, then I'd keyframe this, and then I want it to go here, and then down to here. I just have to do that. I don't have to keyframe each frame in between, I just have to do the in-betweens like this, and then he moves. And animating is... I'll be honest, it depends on what you're trying to do. Some things are easier to animate than others, some things are very complicated. It's hard for me to answer because I've been doing this so long that something like animating the prototype is not difficult for me. It can have its challenges and struggles, but it's not hard. But to someone who's starting out, it would be very hard. So don't go into it thinking it's going to be a breeze, but it's not going to be like soul-crushingly difficult. Definitely not. Especially if it's something that you might have an interest in. Just try to start off with simpler things, and because if you try to start on a project that's too difficult, you're going to discourage yourself very quickly. Just do something simple. Catnap taller than the prototype? No. Not my version. The official version, I have no idea. But my version is bigger than Catnap. Show us your compositing settings. Alright. So, Poppy Playtime typically has some sharpness added, so I put that on there, but I don't know if I'll keep it. And the lights on this are imported from the in-game, so I had to turn the value way down. But the saturation is the same, and that's about it. There's not much going on here, it's just the value's really low. Because if I don't have the value on, the imported lights are way too bright. Like, look at this. Like, they are way too bright. So I needed to tone that down a bit. And plus, I think it looks cool that way anyways. Question, when will you post the prototype online so that animators can use it in the fan animations? I have no plans to do that right now, Sammy. Other people have asked me about that already, and I said that I don't plan to do it. At least not right now. Yeah, BM. And actually, the guy that wrote the story for Chapter 4, the guy who actually wrote it, said that he did not have the Nightmare Critters planned for it. And there was another character too, and I think it was Pianosaurus, that he didn't have in the story. So I think that might be why they felt like they were shoved in, because they were. They had the guy's story, but then they decided to put some more characters in there where they weren't intended to be. And so it clashed a little bit. But hopefully Mob is paying attention and will try to make it better next time. Which is all you can do, right? Like, you're gonna make mistakes all the time. You just gotta try to do it. Not do it again later. Hey, Just Hacky. Thank you. Actually, thank you a lot. Thank you a lot. I'm glad you liked that. I'm really happy whenever anyone just enjoys something I made. That is why I make this stuff, because I want to make other people enjoy it. If you know what I mean. That's what I get out of doing this, which is why I find it so rewarding. Is when people are like, "Oh, this is awesome! I love this." I feel like I was successful when that happens. Amber said the Nightmare Critters were a late addition to the game, so that could explain a lot. Yeah, exactly. I think that's why they feel a little weird. And honestly, Pianosaurus, he wouldn't have been a big deal. It would have been completely fine for him to show up just that one moment and then die. Except that Mob teased him in his own separate little teaser. They made him seem more important than he was, which is why I think people were so upset when he died so quickly. Like, if he had just that tiny little role, like he was only on screen for a moment, he shouldn't have been in anything except maybe the final trailer, right, where they showed him running toward the screen. They shouldn't have teased him at all, I think. I think he should have just been there, and then people wouldn't have been all crazy about it. Do you think you should be a creator for Chapter 5? You can create very good menus and the prototype is insane. Thank you, but definitely not. I don't think I should work at Mob, because while what I'm making might look good to you guys, I don't have enough skills to work at a company like that. On a team like that, in Unreal and all that stuff, there's no way. I'm certain I could learn how to, but not that fast. Finishers should have been in the place of the large black sheep. Now that could have worked. Because like the doctor said, did you think that Yarnaby was the only pet I had? And he could like, instead of that bigger Baba Chops or whatever, it could have been Pianosaurus in that arena. Actually, that's a great idea. That would have worked so much better. I actually really like that idea. Well, they should have done that. Dang it. That makes sense. Nah, I'll mute. I put people in timeout that spam, so yeah, no worries. Model looks great. So good at this. Thank you, Jupiter. Thank you very much. So let me get back to this guy. Yeah, so he's got like a leg. It's kind of sticking out over the sides because his legs are too long. No, wait, I'll go over here and do this. Boom. Go up here. Okay, and then, is that all of them? Yes. Alright, maybe I'll put this leg. No, actually, I've got it wrong. I've got these legs too far to the side. Put that one like right here on the step. Then this one can go over here, more in front. This one can go like way over here on the other step. There we go. Okay, that's better. Something like that. Okay, yeah, that works, I think. I might change it up a little bit later, but that's fine. Have I ever considered doing a collab with... how do you pronounce it? I never figured it out. I'm not even going to try because I'm going to botch it, but the Games TV. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I've seen his stuff. I don't really know how we would. Like... I'd have no idea how that would go down, but... Yeah, but what do I think of them? I think they make some really cool stuff, you know? And they've been making stuff for, like, way back since, like, Chapter 2 came out. I remember watching some of the stuff they made, actually, back then, before I started making my own on it. So, yeah, no, they make some cool stuff. And the fact they're able to make those, like, really big environments as fast as they are, I don't know how they do it, but they do. So, yeah, they're pretty good. Actually, they're really good. What else we got? The neck thing is too long. You think this thing's too long? Because I matched the length of it to the catnap shrine, so it's the same length. I feel like it works because he's able to stick his head out further than his legs, so he can get more distance and see things. But yeah, to each his own. When did you start animating, if you don't mind me asking? I don't. And I started animating back in 2017. Actually, no, it was December 2016. That's when I started. And if you go back and look on my channel and just scroll down, you'll see videos going all the way back to that date. So yeah, I've been doing this a while. Like 8 years. Uh, 3D. I think that shadow was exaggerated just to tease the prototype. I don't think he's that big. Like, you know how if you have a light on the ground and you shine it up on an object, the shadow that's cast on the wall is massive, even though the object might be tiny? I think it's that. I think the shadow was just a perspective thing. But I don't think that's the true size. Need to change his position a little bit. Legs are wrong. Oh, I see why, because they're twisted around. Okay, and then we'll move this. There we go, that's better. Like rotate. Nah, I think I hit it right the first time. Something like that. Yeah, maybe like that. Okay. Then we can also, like, lower him down because you don't want to be touching the ceiling. Yeah, maybe something like that. Okay, that works, I think. Probably get him closer. Obviously, the lighting on him will be changed, but I think that's good enough. Like, we'll see him from the distance, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, that pink light will be taken away, but I think that works. Can you add some spikes on the back of your prototype? He already does. Take a look here. He's got, yeah, he's got spikes. Going along the ribs there. Back of the spine looking thing. Well, Hank, it's just supposed to be. It's a video game, so some stuff doesn't have to be truly realistic. Like, they put the shadow there because they didn't want to show the prototype's actual model yet. So that was the way they could tease it without actually showing it. And it just looks cool. Like, how did that shadow get cast just that way on that wall? Who knows? Who cares? We don't need to care. It just looks good, and it gets the point across. So, like, it works. That's the nice thing about working in a virtual space like this. You don't have to follow the laws of reality all the time. You can make just some cool stuff. Something can look cool just for the sake of looking cool. Sometimes, you know, it's fine. It had a TV monitor on his chest or neck, like so his head, and the screen will show the face of whoever voice it switches to. Isn't that what... Oh, how do you say it? Is it Moita? Moita? M-O-Y-T-A? Moita? Moita Games? Or however you say that? That's what he did on his concept, didn't he? I don't know if he'd have that. Like, the real model's gonna have that or not, but I'm not gonna put that on mine. Where do you find the maps? I ripped them from the game. I ripped the maps. So I didn't download them from anywhere. I actually like extracted them myself. Hello, shark. Hello, Santi. I think that's how you say that. I never know what I look like. I don't. Okay. Oh, I see. You're pretending. Moitia. Moitia? Look, I'm sorry, I've always struggled with pronouncing things like that correctly. Always. Okay. Wonder thing is kind of okay, it's a popular concept. That's cool. Why was the message deleted? What happened? Did you do that? Oh well. How long have you been doing stuff like this passionately versus professionally? Okay, if I understand you correctly, passionately, it's been... Well, it's kind of always been there. It's gone away, but then it's come back, right? Like, for a long time, like for the first 3 years, it was passionately. And then, you know, that started to go away because, you know, it's starting to get burnt out and all that stuff. But, like, with these that I'm doing right now, the passion's come back. Like, doing Poppy Playtime stuff, the passion has come back. But professionally, I don't know if I'd consider what I do now professional. Truthfully, I'm literally just uploading these to YouTube. Like, how that doesn't feel professional to me, but... if I'm thinking, like, what you're meaning, then possibly, like, since... maybe since last year, roughly, is when I... Maybe it was when I started to use Blender. It's maybe when I could say that. But I don't feel like I'm doing anything professionally right now. There was a typo? Oh, I see, okay. No shame if there's like a little typo or something. You know, I'm not gonna make fun of you for it. You know how many times I make typos? Ugh. Someone in Ultra Kill was questioning how would V1 be able to use an organic arm. Mostly everyone said it doesn't need to be realistic, it just needs to be cool. Exactly. Realism, while it has its place, people get a little too obsessed over things needing to be realistic. No, it doesn't. Poppy Playtime is about children being turned into giant monstrosities. It doesn't have to be completely realistic. Video games in general do not have to be completely realistic. That's what makes them fun. Is that some of them blast away from realism and just create something just cool. You can do that. Who's spamming now? Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, please don't spam anymore, Anton. Yeah, please don't. I'll probably see your message. And if I don't, send it a little bit later. But don't spam them back to back to back. Hug him out on the lab map are yours, or you took them from... I extracted them from the game. They are not mine. Follow-up question. How old were you when you started? Versus when you saw a difference... Saw a difference in your creation. Okay, I'm going to... I think I know what you mean. I was 16 when I started. And I saw a difference in it consistently. Like over time, it just consistently got better over time. So I was always seeing a difference, like an improvement. It wasn't like one day I was like, oh, I'm decent at this now. No, it just kind of kept going. I have a question. How come when you add shadows on your model of the prototype, it's kind of hard to see what it looks like, but without shadows or design or color, it kind of looks easier and more to see? Well, because there's light on it. That's why you can see it. I choose to keep it in shadows a bit because I think it makes it look cooler. The model that I have, if there's too much light on it, it looks kind of weird. So I try to keep... Like, look at this. Like, that looks a little weird, don't you think? Not the color of lights, but just all the lights on it. It looks strange. Like, if there's too many lights, it looks weird. So I thought it just looked cooler without so many, with shadows. How long does it normally take to finish the animation? That depends on what I'm making. Some can take a couple days, some can take an entire month. It just depends on what I'm making and how big it is. Like this menu, easily, if I worked on it consistently, a couple days. But like a bigger project, like one of those 15-minute ones I've done, oh, a month or more, easy. This is definitely passionate professional. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you think my stuff is enjoyable. It's going to be immersive, Steve. It needs to be realistic. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, some things, like I said, realism has its place. But not everything, all the time, everywhere, has to be realistic. There are things that can get away with being not realistic, and that is completely fine, and oftentimes I encourage it. I feel like you should use a shadow for reference for the model. I did. That's where the legs came from. Stop skipping down messages. Where'd you get the model, Adam? I made the prototype model myself. That one's mine. Chapter 5 title. Someone cooked up sits very well. Playtime's over. Do you guys really think that's a good title? I thought that was a bit too much. Like, Playtime's over. Yeah, but like, do you think that's better? When did you have more of audience built, and how old are you now? Right now, I'm 24. About to be 25, but I'm currently 24. How old are you? How much of an audience built? Well, obviously it started off slow, like most channels do, and then I got to 10,000. Actually, 2017 was the year where it was very slow. Toward the end of that and into 2018 is when the channel kind of really got going. And then, a couple years later, I hit 100K. And then, a couple more years later, I hit 200K. So, it's growing, and ever since I've done Poppy stuff, it's growing even faster now. Which I'm really surprised by, but happy about. You know, I might get like 250,000 pretty soon, which is great. I myself am a creative, passionate / professional. Hey, excellent. I love seeing people who are like just making things. You know, that it's always cool. Well, actually, what do you make? Like, what do you work on and stuff? Can you do a tutorial on how to animate Huggy Wuggy Withered and send a link to the model you're using? Literally just, I don't have the link, but just search it up. Like, there's somebody who made a lot of rigs for Chapter 4 characters for Blender, and they're free. So, like, just look up, like, Poppy Playtime, Chapter 4, Models, Blender, and you should probably find it. Why does Prototype legs have meat on them? The reason his legs have flesh on them is because when you listen to the sound effects that his legs make in the Chapter 4, some of it sounds like squishy, crunchy meat. Like rotting meat that's on the joints that's being compressed and twisted as he moves his limbs. That's what I heard in the sounds. So that, and looking at the shadows, some of the shadows on the joints and things had like weird bumps. Like it was almost fleshy-like, instead of metallic. So I decided to go for a more fleshy look, especially since a description of him said that he was made of like metal and flesh, so like flesh is on there somewhere. Message you? I don't know how to, because we're on like... Oh, I see, I missed a message from you. Would love to offer an invitation to my Discord group. I'd love to have more discussions. I'm kind of getting into the world you're in. Hey, that's great. Thank you. Discord group, how would you send that? I mean, yeah, if you want to. I might be willing to check that out. You do a lot of things? Oh, well that completely answers the question. Ah, now I know what you do. Perfect. Do you think Chapter 4's visuals are a downgrade from Chapter 3's? No. I think they're an upgrade. I think people are just confused because Chapter 3 had, like, filters over the camera, and Chapter 4 doesn't have those filters, or at least not as many. But I think Chapter 4 looks equal or better. Oh, I keep skipping messages. Good grief. Chapter 5 titles. A lab's empty secret, which I have, red-handed. Something I've noticed is that when mob titles or chapters, they don't use the as the first word. I don't think have they ever used the? Fly in a web. Tight squeeze. No, I don't think they've ever used the word the in a chapter title. They seem to purposely avoid that. Did you have a different prototype model in the past? Yes, I did. This is version 2 of the prototype model right here. This is... Oh, good grief. This is version 2. I did have one before this from last year, but it was a lot worse. Its legs were just like simple needle-looking things, like its fingers. And it didn't have all the wires and stuff on him. And I had just slapped like a bunch of bigger bodies onto him. Like Huggy was literally just wrapped around his arm. It looked kind of dumb. But yeah, I did have another model before this one. I'm missing stuff. How's it way more visible to see his model, but when you animate it with the prototype, it's kind of hard to see. You can only see half him because it's shadow. Are you talking about this? You can see him here because it's in, what is it? Viewport shading. So it doesn't have all the lighting on him, so you can just see like the model and how it looks. Parts of him are always going to be hidden because of lighting and shadows and stuff. I'm always going to have him like that because he looks cool that way. Do I think your prototype looks more like a spider or crab? Both. I think he's a mix of both. Probably more crab, though. Check your DMs. What DMs? Where? Doing chapter 4, the concepts are directly different. The toy's been established. He's basically anamorphous where every other toy has organs biological. Yeah, they were just trying to go like in a different direction with him. To like spice it up, you know, instead of just having another toy. They wanted it to be unique. Understand the prototype's body shape was based off the statue, but did you just make the parts by messing around until it looked good, or were sketches like concepts? I don't work with sketches and concepts, usually. I usually just have it in my head, and then I'll make it. So yeah, I literally took the statue, catnap statue, put it in Blender, and then modeled right alongside it, and used the actual statue as a reference. Draw, write, design, paint, game, dang! Well, you just do the whole dang spectrum, don't you? Doing your own hair for 8 years. Dang! That must be difficult. How do you do your own hair? Or maybe you do it, maybe it's not what I'm thinking. But, yeesh! Well, you must be pretty good at it by now if you've been doing it for 8 years. Makeup artist, photographer, and cook. Again, you're just all over the dang spectrum. Good gosh. That's awesome. See, that's the kind of stuff I like, just like knowing a bunch of things. Like I can, like someone new meets you and you're like, oh, I can do all sorts of stuff, buddy. Just watch. It's like, it's really cool. Do you port maps or the game? Did you make the maps? No, I ported the maps from the game. I extracted them into Blender. This has turned into me animating something to me reading questions. Not complaining, just saying. The prototype kind of got a blob body in the spring. I don't know what that means. Okay. Are you gonna make more videos using this model? Yes. I do intend to make some more videos, hopefully, with him. I never ever say something's guaranteed because you never know, but I do plan to try and make something else with him after this as well. How did you guess prototype model? I didn't guess, I just made something that I thought was similar to the things that Mob has shown us about him. To try to make something interesting. Seriously though, didn't the last model have Boxy Boo's head as his right arm? Oh yeah, it did. I had like Boxy Boo attached to his right arm, but I couldn't rig it right, so I couldn't move it. It literally was just sitting there stationary, and it was weird. Which is why I didn't animate as much stuff with my old model, because he was rigged so badly. I couldn't use him well. Intestine innovation? What in the world? That one seems... that one doesn't seem to fit, but the extraction and unseen underground. Those are interesting. A foundational finale. Oh my god! It keeps shooting me down here. You're a mirror? I don't know how to do it. Man, oh, okay, hang on. You think Poppy is the final true villain? I don't think she's gonna be a villain, like the big bad or anything. I think we're gonna learn stuff about her, and it's gonna be like, oh, so that's what's going on. You're not who we thought you were, kind of deal. A concept artist's description of the prototype in an unrecorded call. What? Oh, I think I'm reading stuff out of order. Do you think we'll ever get books for this series, like an actual novel story? Actually, some people have been making videos on news from Mob Entertainment. They are apparently in the works of making more books. I don't know exactly what kind of books, but they're working with Scholastic, I think, and to make more books. So they very well might make some kind of story. I see a few people talking about the yellow punching hand. Yellow punching hand? Yeah, I've never heard of that. Chapter 5 made a concept with the prototype much better than whatever. What? Well, no, that's not fair to them, because the prototype didn't show up in chapter 4 for one, and honestly, my menu was a bit too extreme. What they made for chapter 4 is just fine. Like, it fits. There's nothing wrong with it at all. So you hear a lot of people saying check DMs, and I think Discord. I mean, that's my assumption, right? Like, what else could it be? Because YouTube doesn't have a DM option. Which I'm glad, because, ugh, that would be a mess. You're gonna make joke videos with the model? Nope. No, I will not. I want to keep him serious. If I took my model and used him in like a bunch of jokey stuff, I feel like that would take away from the seriousness of him, and I don't like doing that. Oh dear, I'm missing stuff again. Wait, you extract the maps? How? Oh, I used, so to extract the maps, I used a program called Universal UMap. It's a special software made by somebody on Patreon, and they sell it for like $10. You like subscribe to their Patreon for $10, you can download it. And it lets you extract. So far I've used it on all the maps. Well, not all the maps, but I've used it on like multiple chapters, and it works. It works actually really well. And it'll extract it directly into Blender for you. So it's really handy. I'm gonna go back to here. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Get a different background going. Yeah, okay. What is this concept art you're talking about that's been leaked? I've never seen that. And if you're talking about that weird-looking MS Paint drawing type thing, then I don't think that's official. What actually is the thing that makes up the prototype's neck? Oh, I thought it looked like a giant trash bag. Ah, I see. Thank you for the... That looks like garbage. I see what you're doing. No, but... So, the idea is that his corpse is stuck into the front, and you have all these tubes pumping blood through. This is just a big... Because it's a prototype, they didn't optimize blood flow well, so he needs a lot of blood. That's my idea. So he's just got a ton of blood pumping through here, and into, like, the brain and stuff, and just to keep him functioning. So there's just, like, a lot of things, like blood flowing through here, and electrical wiring, and all that stuff. It's what it all feeds into and is held together by. Is this giant, like, tube thing. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. So many restricted messages. What happened? I didn't delete them. That's weird. Thoughts on the critters? I know people that find them annoying. They kind of took away from the horror of the game. Like public perception. I don't think they took away from the horror of the game. I think they're just another good addition. If you're talking about the smiling critters, yeah, I don't think they're bad at all. I think they work very well. And annoying, yes. The way they're implemented can get annoying. But I don't think they took away from the horror of the game. No. At least not for me. I know it's highly unlikely, but do you reckon there could be an instance where we see a Chapter 6? They've talked about it. Mob Entertainment has talked about doing a Chapter 6, but I personally don't think we will. I think it would be great if it ended at Chapter 5, because the way it's been built up, if it goes another chapter to Chapter 6, that's going to feel like they're trying to draw it out further than it needs to go. But if we did get one, I feel like it would be because the labs would be so big that it had to be split into 2 chapters. Because there's not another thing after the labs. The labs are the end. There's nothing after the labs. But, yeah. Let's see. Robert, who's Rob? Am I missing this? Oh, there's a whole conversation happening that I don't know about. Okay. Thoughts on Amber Loves Bugs? She's one of the concept artists in the Left for Work. I don't know. I probably heard of her, but I don't know what art she's made, so I can't say because I don't remember. But why don't I have you working for Mob? Because I can't work for them. I'm not good enough for that. Also, no, my modeling skills are not better than theirs. I could make this guy because he was robotic and had separate parts. I could not in my life, or not right now at least, model a Huggy. I have no idea how to do that, or to rig it or anything. Like, my knowledge is very broken into pieces. I know bits of this thing over here and bits of that thing over there, but I don't know enough to be able to, like, work for a company. No way. Oh my gosh, what? Message restricted again? Dang. I don't know what you keep trying to say, but it keeps getting removed. That's weird. The guy's so big he needs tons of blood to live. Yes. Yes, he does. Do you think the poppy fluid gel is the secret because Proto said that's what we are? No, I don't think the gel is the secret. I think the secret is how to create one of the bigger bodies that doesn't need to eat. Because remember, only the prototype and Poppy don't need to eat anything. they can just live. They don't need sustenance. They don't need anything to stay alive. They just can stay alive. All the other toys have to eat something. They have to eat food or they starve. I think the secret is whatever it is that makes something not have to eat like that. I think that's what the scientists were trying to do. They were trying to replicate the prototype's ability to just not have to eat anything and could just stay alive on its own indefinitely. I think that's the secret. Did you rip the map straight from the game for your animation? Yes, I did. I extract them from the game and put them into Blender. I appreciate the acknowledgement of your own limits. Well, yeah. I mean, thank you, but yeah, everyone has limits. And I feel like everyone should acknowledge that, because, like, otherwise you're just lying to yourself. But no, yeah, there's no... I am definitely not... I feel like I'm not as good as the stuff I make might lead you to believe. There are some things I just can't do. Right in Chapter 5, we'll have a chase with Huggy, and the prototype captures everyone, and Poppy is the only survivor. I feel like we will have... You know what? Of course we're going to have a Huggy chase. That's kind of guaranteed, I think. Do you think Huggy will have a major role? I think he'll have a significant role. I don't know how big, but definitely not a minor one. Totally make it so tar drips from wherever he goes. They said that regular trace of tar. When was that said? I don't ever remember them mentioning tar. Yeah, Hank, exactly that. That is the one thing I'm trying so hard to make sure I don't do. Because you are correct. People get a ton of praise for something, and it can very easily go to someone's head and cause them to act differently. I recognized that early on, and I did not want that to happen. So I do try to, like, keep it realistic, you know? So, exactly that, yes. If you could save one character from the entire episode, who would it be? One character from the entire... Save? Like take out of the factory save? Or keep alive or something? Well, I think that'd have to be Kissy, of course. Kissy Missy. If anyone, she definitely deserves to see the sunlight. She has been down there way too long. Burnt. Mutilated. Limb gone. Okay, she doesn't have an arm anymore. She definitely needs to go to the surface. I have the same username everywhere. Oh, okay. Cool. Jupiter, actually about that. I know it might have looked like it in the video, but his heart is not actually exposed. It's inside of a glass container. At least there's a glass window on the container, and it's bulletproof. So, yeah, you're not getting to that heart easily. Yeah, I didn't leave his heart just open and exposed, because you're right, that would be way too big of a weak point. Nope, not reading that one. Will Kissy die in Chapter 5? Will we see... Well, we're not seeing Killy Willy. That's a fan-made thing. But I really hope that Kissy does not die in Chapter 5. We have too many... In media, too many times, characters that we want to live keep dying. I want one to actually survive and make it to the end and have the happy ending, okay? Can we have that, please? Can Kissy just actually be okay and make it, like... I feel like that needs to happen. Exactly. Kissy should live. Exactly. 228k subs. Yes, I know. I am surprised. It's like, I don't know. Since I started doing Poppy Playtime stuff, more people have been subscribing. It's interesting. I mean, yeah, there's a big interest for it, but at the rate that it's happening, I was not expecting. I'm very surprised. We see Huggy's body. I mean, yeah, I guess. It's just... It's gonna be a little compressed, because I got it squished down into a crouch position, but... Yeah, there he is. We seem a bit better now here. He's got all his injuries and stuff, split lips and everything. Dude's been through it. About his lungs? He doesn't have lungs. In my version anyway. I keep getting confused. The official version, we don't know. He might have lungs. In my version, he does not have lungs because the machinery provides oxygen to him that way. Because he's a war veteran. I mean, kinda. At this point. Do you think the prototype will have a flamethrower? I think he has something kind of like that. Not a flamethrower, but I think what he did was he took the gas dispenser from Catnap, applied it to himself, and now he can dispense the gas and light it on fire. Which is how I think he burned Kissy in the first place. Curiosity question, so message me when you find me. Okay. If I can find you. You're saying you're easy to find, but we'll see. In your opinion, who is the most wasted character in the whole game? Don't answer Pianosaurus. Most wasted? Catnap. Are you kidding me? That guy got... that guy got shoved under the mattress. He was teased in the game, sure, and he showed up once or twice, but he got like not the best boss fight, and it wasn't even of him, it was of his like nightmare version. We didn't really confront Catnap at all. He was just always hiding away. I feel like he should have been used more, definitely. Catnap feels like a missed opportunity in some areas. Why is he on the ground? Because he's crouching down to look through the window of this door. See? He's looking through the window, so he's got to crouch down to our level because he's way taller than us. That's a lot more subs than you have. Well, that's alright, Craft. It's... I don't want to... I'm going to try not to sound like, you know, the cliche or anything, but like, you know, doesn't make me better. Or anything. I'm not better than anyone because I have the more subscribers. Like, if you want more subscribers, like, just upload stuff, make cool things. People who like it will show up. That's what happened here. I didn't do some secret thing. I just did stuff, and people seem to like it. Yeah, don't feel like envious or anything. You know, it's fine. It's completely fine. Subscribers do not maketh person. That was awful, but you get what I mean. When is this going to release? If you're talking about the video, I'm hoping before the weekend. You think we'll get a fight between Kissy and Huggy? Oh, we're going to get some kind of interaction. They're definitely going to interact. And I'm curious how they're going to interact. Are they going to be enemies, or are they going to be friends? Because Huggy, remember, Huggy just hates us. The human. We don't know if he's like this toward Kissy or not. Maybe she'll be able to keep him from killing us or something. Who knows? You think the prototype will have a buzzsaw? No, that seems like too far. Thing is, the prototype wasn't really lying when he said they couldn't leave. Any toys who skip the fact would be instantly captured. Just wonder how they handle that. Well, if you want to get like a realistic view of this, the upstairs level has sunlight through the roofs, right? They could literally... Because, like, if Doey was still alive and had the articulating fingers, they could literally build, like, containers in those buildings and grow plants and grow their own food and live on the surface of the factory. They don't have to go outside. Like, they can get... Like, if they can find just... They just have to find, like, something to plant, but, like, they could grow their own food in the factory. Because the factory still got electricity, running water, all this stuff. They could just live on the top level. If we trap him and use enough grab pack force, we take the box out of him. You can't take the box out because it's too connected to everything, but maybe if you could find a way to break through the glass somehow. It's a very strong glass, but maybe if you could. Let me see. Huggy's 18 feet tall canonically. I think that's too tall. I think that's too high. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he's got a canonical height or not. Oh yeah, it's because he looks a little derpy because his eyes like going off to the side. But I don't think that's derpy. I think that just looks crazy. Like Huggy's literally going insane. You use Blender UMap? No, I use Universal UMap. It's a separate program somebody else made. Universal UMap. That's it. We have a canonical height for the prototype? No, we have almost no canonical information on him. Almost. We do have some, but when you really think about it, it's minimal. Imagine how cool it'd be if Huggy turns against the prototype. I think the prototype fixed him up, so I don't think he's going to turn against him. Bulletproof glass. Yeah, the glass tank, the glass on the tank that holds his heart is like bulletproof. It's really strong. That's on my concept at least. I keep having to specify, on my concept version, not the official version, we don't know on that one, but on my concept version, yes. I post a lot, but I don't tend to have many views, but I'm not necessarily worried about it. I love my content. Exactly the kind of attitude to have. Okay? Exactly. You start and I've fallen into this trap. You start looking at views and subscriber numbers, and you start seeing those not going up when you make something. It can be very discouraging. But look, if you're in a position where you love what you make, that is amazing. Not everybody has that. That's actually a blessing to have, so hold on to that. Just keep making stuff that makes you happy. You know, that's the whole point of this in the first place. Like when I make my stuff, I make it because I want other people to see it and enjoy it. I want them to see it and enjoy it and just like be like, oh, that was awesome, you know? I love doing that for people. And that's why I make what I make now. At least right now, that's the reason. And so, like, that's all you really need when you do this stuff. Like, sure, some people might look at what I have now and be like, oh, he gets so many views. Do you want to know how many views I was getting back when I started this? None. Very few. And that's completely fine. Like, I was still so happy just seeing that some people liked what I did. And that's literally all you need. The prototype's digestive system work? Canonically, no, it doesn't work. His digestive system is there, but it doesn't work. If you find me, Discord server is popping up. Yeah, if I can find you, I'll send you like a message or something. But yeah, if I can find you. That's me with Pierre, the secret, yeah. Any tips in Blender? I'm self-teaching to make avatars, so how's life been for you? Any tips for Blender? Buddy, that's a vast question. There are so many things I could say, but like, I don't know what applies to you. You say you're making avatars, but I don't really know entirely what all you need to know to make those. Like, what do you want? Lighting? Animation information? Like, I don't know what to give you, but as far as how life's been, it's actually, with the explosion of how these videos have been doing, life has been really interesting lately. Like, I'm excited. And really happy how just how well received the stuff I've been making lately has been. Because it hasn't always been like that. So I'm actually really, really glad about that. Where do you get the models? Which one? Are you talking about the Huggy? The Huggy model? I got him... Just search up, like, probably Playtime Chapter 4 Blender models, and you should find it. Somebody made a bunch of rigs for the Chapter 4 models and released them for free. Thoughts on annoying content farms. I talked with one of the devs on Tumblr once, and some of the crew were also sick of them, even glitch production. Oh, yeah. Oh, the digital circus stuff. Oh, good gosh. They said they could have legal action. Yeah. The content farms, the ones that are just, like, really bad, blatantly terrible, making stuff because they purely want views and money. No, I don't like that at all, and I don't agree with that. Especially the ones that steal from other people, like assets and things, like steal them. No, I don't. I'm not cool with that at all. Now you have to be careful because some people sometimes just make a lot of content, even though they're like putting effort into it and they care, but they'll accidentally get labeled as a content farm. I've been worried about that happening to me before when I'd like make some videos like back to back to back to back before, but. Yeah, if we're talking like the really bad content farms that are just blatantly stealing and low-quality nonsense, yeah, no, I don't... There needs to be a way to, like, remove that stuff, I feel like, because it doesn't do any good. Do you think the prototype will be fast? I think he'll be decently speedy. I don't think he'll be able to run. I think he'll be too heavy for that. Thought about getting a team of animators to help you out on your videos. I've contemplated the idea, but I don't have enough money to pay them. I can't hire somebody to help me out, so I can't do that. Yeah, I've thought about it, but I don't have any way to do that. At least not now. Well, if you want rigging advice, then I'm definitely not the person to go to, Jake. I hardly know anything about rigging. I was lucky to be able to rig this guy well enough. I really was, because I've never rigged much of anything before this. I was very lucky. And it's still a mess. But, like, if you want to know how to rig something, I am definitely not the person to go to. Hi, I love what you do. You're doing what both me and you love. Oh, thank you. Thank you, really. I'm glad you like it, man. I'm glad you do. Great things are coming. I hope so. I mean, great things have already arrived. Like, great things are already here. But yeah, I really hope so. For yourself as well. Hey, I'm glad you've got stuff going on as well. Like, I am. Like, I am happy that your life is going well, because that's becoming this might not even be a word. A rarer thing nowadays. So I'm glad you have some stuff going on. You stealing is gross, yes. I don't think stealing is good. When I do stuff, I'll always try to make sure I credit properly if I can, and if I don't know, then maybe I'll just put like from unknown or something. But like I always try to give proper credit and make sure that if I take something that it's not stealing. Obviously, sometimes misunderstandings can happen, but knowingly stealing, I think, is not good. I understand that mistakes can occur always, but yeah. Oh my gosh, how far down did my scroll wheel go? Oh no. I randomly found one of your videos like 3 minutes ago and saw you are live. Wanted to say I love the details and works put into it. Thank you, Pikmin. Thank you very much. I try to put effort into these things, I really do, so I am glad that you like the little details and everything. I'm glad people actually notice those. That's great. Brain rot hurts my brain. Oh gee, I wonder why it's called that. Golden, you're one of the best YouTubers and animators, and my favorite YouTuber. I think your probably Playtime Blend animations are brilliant. Anyway, I'll watch you tomorrow because it's 23:39. Okay. I'm definitely not the best. By God, I'm not the best. No, that's a solid no. But I'm glad you like what I make and everything like that. And yeah, thank you very much. How tall is my version approximately? Well, he's taller than Huggy. He's probably like a good... I don't know, because, like, here he is in this hallway. Like, how tall do you think it is from here to here? And, like, it's harder to get a scale on him because of his legs, he can adjust his height. Like, he can make himself taller or shorter. So, I don't know, maybe like 20 feet tall or less? Maybe less. Probably less. Maybe like 18. 20-ish? Maybe when it fully extended it could be over 20, but maybe I'm not thinking about this correctly. Let's see. Edge of the final boss fight with Prototype was something actually chill, like a game of cards. I think if they actually did that, everybody would riot. How would a GoFundMe pages for paying animators go? Probably not well, because GoFundMe is more for important things, I feel like. And me hiring an animator to help with my videos on a YouTube channel is not important. I feel like a GoFundMe should be for important things. You know, like, I can't pay for this treatment, I need help. Or a tree fell on my car and it's the only one I have and now I can't get to work, I need help. Like, that's what a GoFundMe should be for, like, for important things. And not like this. That doesn't seem right. Like, hey, can you guys pay for me to hire someone, please? Thank you. Like, no, I don't like the idea of that. You need to get hired for Mob. No, I cannot work for Mob, and I've said why multiple times. So if you want to know, just go back on the stream. But yeah, I cannot work for them. Because, like, I don't have enough skill for that. There's no way. What are your thoughts on the trailer for Secret of the Mimic? I think it looks very different from other, like, FNAF stuff. And I think it's going to be very unique, and it's going to be, like, a really refreshing game, I think. I think it's going to be good. Message me, we'll talk business stuff. Hey, yeah, if I can find you when the stream's done, we'll see what... But I've got to, like... I can't do it on stream. Who is your favorite evil toy monster? As far as currently released ones, probably... Oh dang, I don't really know. I like all things in different ways, so it's hard for me to have like a favorite of something. Do you think they'll bring back Project Playtime, or is that game just dead forever? I'll be honest, when Poppy Playtime is done, like when Chapter 5 is done, and they need new stuff, obviously they're working on new IP, but I feel like they're not going to want to just stop Poppy Playtime just like that. They're going to want to keep going with it in some way. That would probably be how. And they'll probably try to do another multiplayer Poppy Playtime game. Either they'll update Project Playtime or they'll remake it entirely in Unreal Engine 5. I'm way behind on some of these messages because I keep scrolling down, but people keep sending new ones, so I'm like way behind. Yeah, Project Playtime's pretty much dead at the moment, but I think it can come back. You model the entire map of characters, or you use tools like Fmodel or other? I use tools like Fmodel and Universal UMap to extract the maps and stuff. The only thing that I've made myself is the prototype model here. That's the only thing that I made and modeled. And even then, there's some parts of it that are like from... Like the arm is from Mob Entertainment, but like I modeled the legs and the body, most of the body and all that stuff, like the neck here and all that. But yeah, like Huggy here and this whole map I extracted. If the prototype model gets damaged in the neck, lots of blood. Yes, but thankfully is made of metal and highly armored, so it's hard for him to get damaged. On my version, anyway. Love your model of prototype. It is so amazingly detailed and cool. I love it so much. I hope the model in game will look like something similar. Love your content. Keep up the good. I'm assuming you meant to say good work. Thank you, Shadow. Thank you very much. I know my model's probably not going to be what it actually looks like, but I hope the official one looks even better, really. But I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Seriously, how we would crush him in the box like we did with Doughy. Doughy didn't get crushed by a box, he got crushed by a grinder. Like a drill. But I feel like the prototype needs a spectacular death if he's gonna die. Like, just having him to get crushed by something isn't good enough. Like how Mommy Longlegs literally got crushed in a grinder. While that wouldn't be good for the prototype, something very unique like that is needed. I feel like Mommy Longlegs' death is the most unique out of them all. Like, the most shocking and, like, whoa out of all of them so far. But we definitely need something, like just makes us go, whoa, when we see it. Do I think my prototype model will be accurate? Maybe loosely. Like, very loosely, but very in terms of the details and everything, probably not, no. What's the prototype's neck made out of? Metal, tubes, veins, wires, and lots of blood. Do you think the prototype is the first of the Bigger Bodies initiative? No, I think the prototype was made before the Bigger Bodies initiative. Boxy Boo was the first bigger body. The prototype was something that they were able to make before they even started the Bigger Bodies initiative. The prototype will be different and smaller when its first created, was the same now in the present now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the same size all the way. And it's just added on to itself as it's gone. You have to sleep because it's 1 a.m. Okay, well, hey. Yeah, you definitely go to bed, man. And yeah, you have a good night if you're not already gone, because this is a bit of an old message. But yeah, you have a good night, man. Yeah, I meant not with a box. Crush him with like a grand pillar thing similar to it. No, I feel like just having him get crushed would be too simple. We need something more spectacular than that for the prototype, I think. Prototype prediction death animation. Okay, that's not a terrible idea. But I don't feel like I could come up with anything that would be good enough. Bro, you make everything look so good. Hey, thank you. I try. Sometimes I don't think it looks good, but like if you do, then hey, that's great. Like you guys are the ones that watch it. So if you think it looks good, then I guess I did it well enough. Oh man. Oh man. Alright. Do you think Harley made the prototype? I don't think he made it. I think he studied it after he got brought on. Oh, as a way to destroy the box with his heart. Oh, that's why I was confused, because his heart's not in a box, it's in a cylinder. That's okay, that was my confusion. Maybe. Maybe. But again, I feel like just destroying that would be too simple. It wouldn't be spectacular enough. Let me see. I need to get back into this a little bit. Actually, no, I think I've done all I can do for now. I'll work on this some more later, so... Okay. Let's see. Okay, well, you know what? I think I've done enough work. I haven't really done much, but, you know, it's gone on for a long time. I think it's about time to call it for today. So... yeah, let's see. I think that's... because I got Huggy animated, and now I just gotta work on the prototype, which is very complicated, and it'll take a lot of time. So... I just wanted to stream, like, me doing a little bit of animating, because I know some people said they wanted to see the process, so I thought I'd do a little bit live. So... let's see. Do you think the dogs are still alive? Because he said things like, oh, bro, I thought no one ever find me. I don't know. I have no idea on that, if he's alive or not. His heart explodes. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there for tonight, because it is... I started this, the sun was out, and now it's dark, so... I think we're good for now. So, hey, everyone who's here, or who was here, thank you for stopping by. I don't stream very often, I don't have like a schedule or anything like that, I just kind of do it when I feel like it. I mean, the last time I streamed was last summer. So like, I don't really do streams that often, but... I mean, hey, if this one did well, maybe I'll do some more, we'll see. No guarantees, but maybe. So, thank you very much, all you guys, for stopping by. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the kind words you've said, and all the questions. You've helped keep this going, because if there's no, like, communication on a stream, then it's kind of boring. So I'm glad for all the questions and the talking and conversations, and able to just keeping it going, so I appreciate it. So, anything I missed? No, I think we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna end now, so thank you, all you guys, for stopping by. I hope you have a good night, or whatever time it is where you are. And I'll see you later, alright? Alright.